What's up, everybody? This is Brian Funk, aka AfroDJMac, Ableton certified trainer. I want to talk to you about one of my favorite new devices in Ableton Live 10, Drum Bus. And Drum Bus can be found in your audio effects right here. You can drag it right into a drum track. And what Drum Bus really is, it's an analog style drum processor. It's designed to add some body, warmth, and character to your drums. You can use it to increase the transients. You can use it to tune your drums a little bit too. It's a really powerful device that yields some awesome results, and I'm finding myself dropping it on like a lot of drum tracks and even some other instruments because it really adds a lot of life and character. So I got this little beat here, and I'm just going to turn on the default preset, and we get a little more energy in our drums. Brings them to life. So let's talk about what we've got here. So the first thing you get in here is a drive for adding some distortion, some crunch here. Now, this is affected by our different types of drive. It's soft, medium, hard. Hard is like really kind of clipping. There's even a bit of a bass boost to this. In fact, let's throw an EQ8 on our track just so we can see what's happening to our frequencies as we play around a little bit with Drum Bus. So I'm going to dial this down and we can see our low end. By the way, EQ8 is going all the way down, I'll show you here, to 10 hertz in Live 10. It used to be 30, but now it's 10. So we're getting some extra information down here that we never used to have. So I'm going to turn off that little high pass filter, and we can just see what happens as we add our distortion, our soft. You kind of see the energy pick up over here a little bit. This is a wave shaping distortion. When we go to medium, we're getting a lot more energy, I'd say, in the mids too. They're calling this a limiting distortion. And of course, hard, we'll get the bass boost as well. So you'll notice a lot of action happening here with my kick and my snare. So maybe I'll set this to medium for now. We've got a trim control, and this really just lets us adjust the input so we can, not drive our drum bus quite as much. We can trim the input volume a bit here. There's a compressor, and this is just kind of an across-the-board one-button compressor. It's designed to give a little bit extra attack, a little more body to your drums. So they sound a tad fuller with the compression on. Okay. Now next we're going to go to crunch. Crunch is really supplying us with some mid to high frequencies here, and you'll notice as I turn this back down, you get a little less action over here as I turn it up. A little more frequency boost in there. So we've also got a damp control. This is going to take away some of the extra high frequencies. So it's really just a low pass filter on our distortion. So as we add our crunch, you'll hear it especially in the hi-hats and the top of the snare. They get a little harsh, so we can dampen that a little bit. And you can go extreme. Default is at about 9 kilohertz, I believe. Dial that back a little bit. One of the exciting features is transient. So transient allows you to emphasize the transients, the initial hits of the drums, so they punch through your mix a little bit. And you can do this in two ways. If you go to the left, you're going to emphasize the transients, but take away some of the actual decay of the drums. And you'll notice everything sounds pretty snappy down here. Now if I go the other way, we'll still emphasize the transients, but we'll get a little more body to our drums. More decay, more rattle, more room noise. Almost like a pumping starts to happen on this particular drum kit. I think a good little example of this is if I throw reverb before Drum Bus. So I've got a reverb on here, right? I'll leave it just at its default. And now when I dial this back, we're going to still get the more punch on our drums for the initial attack, the transients, but we're going to lose a lot of that decay that the reverb is giving us. So our drums are tight and punchy. I'll turn the reverb off. And now they sound even tighter, but the reverb's not having a whole lot of effect on our drums. Even when I crank it up pretty high, it's much more subtle. But now as I add the transient with the body, the decay in my reverb becomes much more intense. It sounds like I've increased the time or something. And as I go here, our reverb gets really intense because we're adding body to this. So I'm gonna just close this down and I'm gonna turn this up just a little bit to make this kind of bring out some of the room sound. This is especially nice on like your real drum kits that are actually in a room. And we're gonna move to boom. Now this is, I think, some of the fun stuff that starts to happen with our drum bus here. And I'm gonna put a tuner on just so we can kind of see what's happening here. Right now we're not seeing much. Now when I turn up boom, we are actually adding musical notes to our drums. I'm going to mute the bass for a moment. So there is no bass playing right now, but we're hearing a very low G. We can choose the frequency of this boom. You can see here I'm getting somewhere in the neighborhood of a D on my kick drum. We can take this really low. Gonna need some pretty good subs to hear this stuff. We've got a decay control. This will determine how long this bass note or this boom note will last. So now I've got it dialed back a bit. I'll put this a little bit higher just so you can hear it. Maybe a little high pitched for a bass drum, but you can at least hear the note. I can bring this way down low. So we're barely getting any decay at all. Again, keep in mind, I got the boom all the way up, so this is for sake of example. I'm going to turn the decay all the way up too again. You're going to notice down here, I've got a note value that keeps changing. And this is the nearest MIDI note, the nearest note to the hertz. So, you know, when we get to like 80, say, that's about an E. And you can see that over here. Oh, way over here, actually. 80 hertz is about an E. That's displayed down here in our EQ8. So as I'm like in the neighborhood of 80, we get the E. If I click on this button, Live will tune it to the exact pitch. And you'll see we're getting a pretty spot on note right here for our kick drum. Especially if I solo this, you can really see it's right on the money E, more or less. Now, my particular piece of music I got here is playing a G and an A. That's what our bass is doing. So maybe if I take boom down, I'll just let you hear. Let's say here we gotta activate this. So that's our operator, really low. I'm actually gonna go in here. I'm just gonna raise the pitch. Just again, for the sake of example. And I'm gonna turn up a boom. So now that's a little bit of a clash with the G. Bring it up to the A, and I'll click this button to tune it. So we're getting this kind of root note, this A, playing even under that G. But this is a great way to tune your drums. So you can get like extra boom. Like, keep in mind, this kit, I'm gonna also again mute my, this is what my kick sounds without drum bus. You know, not a lot going on there, but then I can get some real power out of it, and you know, I can give me even my drive. If I put my hard up, I'm gonna get more bass, because that's just what we get with that particular drive character. It's pretty intense. And again, just for reference, a lot more power. We can audition the actual bass frequency right here. And I think this could probably be useful for lots of things. Maybe just to get like a specific note and program it with a drum sequencer or something. But that's maybe a story for another day. We've got a dry wet control too, so if my drums are a little too intense here, we can dial back the dry wet, all the way to nothing, and now we have no effect. Or we can have some kind of nice mixture here. So that's Drum Bus. It is awesome. It makes your drums sound so powerful and gives it a real warmth and analog character. I think they really did a great job allowing you to get this kind of realistic analog feel. And the drives here are excellent. Lots of character, lots of charm, I think this adds to your drums. So Drum Bus, one of my favorite additions to Live 10. Check it out.